here with the Gnome Schoolhouse, and we are continuing on our tour of the premises. Right here and now, we are in the entrance of the event center. And it's kind of cool because I've been told that this little area right here, which this is exactly how it was. This is the original concrete floor. This is the original cinder block walls. We just threw a new roof on it and put 2 new doors. But apparently they used to use this, the guys, as a boxing ring back in the day, which is kind of cool. So anywho, now it is the entrance into our event center, which was the gymnasium. Come on in. So here we have the entrance, and I don't know if you can get a good shot here. You can kind of see you've got the new brick here, and then that's the old brick because the gymnasium was added in 1949, so it's not original. In 1916, it was added in 1949. So of course, this was the outside of the schoolhouse that they schmucked the gym onto. So this is the little entrance here. Now, of course, this was expansive and this was opened up into, the whole gymnasium. But we, of course, added a bathroom as well as a coat room and a catering kitchen and a bar. So this is, it's kind of hard to see, we got a table in front of it, but this is Nome in 1915. I wanted it to look like you could just walk down Main Street. So anywho, and then in here, this is actually one of my favorite rooms. This is a wraparound picture. It came like wallpaper. It's a picture from Nome in 1920. It was taken on top of one of the 4 elevators. And here, right there, you can see the little baby school. And of course, it's just the schoolhouse because this is 1920 and the gymnasium was not added until 49. So as you can see, the city of Nome was a nice sized metropolis back in the day. So, and then that sink right there, there's a picture of it above there. I'll show you where we found that down in the chemistry room, and took it off the wall and had it re-enameled and put it in here. I just love how this all turned out. All right, so onward we go. Here is some of the windows of the original gym were all glass blocks. And most of them were shot out or broke or what have you. So we replaced them with good energy efficient windows, but we tried to save as many of the glass blocks as we could. So we relocated some here as well as some at the back of the bar there. These cement buttresses are exactly the same as they were in 1949, only they were painted baby blue. So we took the paint off them and just left them their cement color. Now these big arches, the supports, this is exactly how they looked in 1949, and this is how they looked in 2018, and we just did not do anything with them. They are in amazing shape. We did add the brick on the walls all the way around to tie in the outside brick of the original school. And of course, we've added fire suppression, new electrical, we put a new garage door in. The garage door was added by the gentleman who bought the schoolhouse in 1970 after it was completely decommissioned, and he wanted to use the schoolhouse. He wanted to use the gymnasium to fix his bulldozers and whatnot. So he put the cut a hole and put in a garage door, which of course was falling down in 2018. And then you can see the woven wall of roving, which is absolutely beautiful. It's to look like a North Dakota prairie view. It was woven on site. We thank Catherine Gilbertson for all her work on that. It took about 8 months, and there was no pattern. It was just her vision, and she rocked it. Looks awesome. Okay, and then of course we have the bar down here, which all of the wood that you see here, there's some more of those glass blocks, and the wood here, as well as the wood supporting when we opened up the wall so that we could see the original outside brick of the school, all that old wood that you see was salvaged from the 2 classrooms that we had to take down. And ta-da, we used them here, and they look amazing. And of course, the fire escape steps, those are the original fire escape steps that lived on the north side of the school, which we relocated in here, because when we put in the bathroom, the catering kitchen, whatnot, we did an upper mezzanine which has seating up there. And so the fire escape steps is how you get up there. And there's the Nome State Bank sign that somebody found laying in the alley uptown here and asked if we would like to have it. And we were very honored to put it up in here. So we even dug around and found some pictures of the inside of the bank as well as the outside. You can see it hanging right there. And you just have to marvel because that is over 100 years old. It was all hand carved, handmade, and my goodness, amazing, amazing shape. So here you can see there was just a doorway right here, a 32-inch doorway. And then the original basketball hoops were right under the scoreboard. That's the original scoreboard, mind you. And so it was there, and it was where the TV is over on the south wall. And then there was 3 bleachers on either side that folks could sit. And kind of cool. And so now we're going to walk through this. This is the original. This is how it looked. We haven't really done much with this wall. We left one of the original radiators that was added. These steps are original. And through this door, which is not a door, we just boarded it up, is the mill on the other side of this, which we'll see from the other side. So come on down into the Hall of History. And here we have some donated items, basketball uniform, which is, look at how short those shorts are, so cute, as well as a Letterman sweater. And then we have the Nome graduate pictures from 1953 to 1966, as well as some very, very old from 1910, I mean, these are 1926, that's the year they were born, was 1910. 1924, very, very old report cards that we made copies of and put on the walls here just because they're kind of cool. And then here we have the Nome flashes, and the Nome flashes, just some copies of some of them. It was the school newspaper, so it's kind of neat to read what was going on at that time. Like this was when John F. Kennedy was shot, was that time period. So, okay, and then we end up here, right up these 2 steps is the front entrance of the main schoolhouse. When we purchased the school, these steps were completely caved in. They weren't even here. They were all in a pile. And those steps were sketchy going up them. But my husband did an amazing job taking them apart and putting them back together. It's just amazing. And he got them all back in here, and I still marvel at that. Here we have the boys and girls bathroom, which is still the boys and girls bathroom. The only thing we did differently is put new stalls and new fixtures in, added a couple sheep pictures there on the wall. And then the ladies over here. So basically the same mirror image of each other. When we got to school, there was still toilet paper in the stalls, which was kind of interesting. And then here, This is, we call this Clink's room because this is where our boiler lives, but the actual boiler room was right here. It was very small. And then there was a door right here, and then that went into a multi-purpose room that was used for differing things throughout the years. The last thing I believe it was the chemistry room because that's where we found the sink that was right here. Uh, it was also a home ec room. It was a lunchroom at one point. All sorts of different uses. We use it now as a classroom, corporate events. The groomsmen get ready down here for weddings. We've got a 3-bowl sink. We use it for kind of the messier classes, like our dyeing classes and whatnot. Right out through here, there was a doorway, and this was where the old coal rooms were. And those had all collapsed, so we had to take them down and we boarded it up. And this is on my husband's to-do list to make this doorway pretty. We were very fortunate that in the boiler room was the only place that the environmentalists found asbestos. So we spent $34,000 abating clink, and he was so clean you could eat off him. So we decided to keep him forever, which my husband had no idea how we would get clink out of here elsewise, because we're pretty sure the school was built around the boiler. But it's kind of cool just to have him here on display, and a lot of folks like to see that. So heavy duty clink. Okay, so from here we are going to enter the, no, not the last bit, because I'll show you a brief picture, or a brief view of the pit, we call it. But we're going to enter the mill now. All right, so let's head into the mill. All right, so this is the fiber processing mill. This is where we do all of our fiber processing. We do, of course, fiber education. We teach people how wool, raw wool, it goes from raw wool into finished products, yarn, felt, roving, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going to give you an in-depth tour of the mill. We'll just kind of just the basics. This is where all the washing and dyeing is done. Over here is we have Willow, the mill kitty, is waiting for her treat here, and that is where all the fiber goes to dry. I have to give Willow her little treat because otherwise she'll just keep. There you go, baby. There you are. That's Willow's dry rack area and Willow's wool. Here you can see behind us we have, by you here, some sheets of felt that are drying here. Absolutely beautiful. And the felt is made after we process it in our felting room over here. You take a little peeky in there. We've got 2 felting machines that make it into the sheets of felt, and it starts like this right here, nice and fluffy and wonderful. And here we have our picker. Here we have buckets of fiber ready to be processed. Here's the machines that take it into roving and then spin it into yarn and ply it. Ooh, this is kind of cool. Here's some new little felted products. We have cute little gingerbread man, and then we have these really cute felted ornaments that are going to be up in the store. Oh, those are going to be super fun. Those are cool. Here we have some of our Lincoln Crewel yarn that we just spun up, and it's all ready to be put into skeins. And that's what we're in the process of doing. Back here is where we put together our kits, our products, do our shipping out of, all sorts of different various things back there. I think we have Mary back there. Yes, say hi, Mary.
Hello.
There's Mary. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, let's look at these. Oh, these are cool. Whoopsies. I just wrecked them. We just got these. We were struggling with threading needles. So we got these cute butterfly needle threaders that we're going to be um, selling up in the store, as well as including in some of our kits. So those are kind of cool. Yeah. And very soon out back here, this is awesome because this goes along with the new grant that we just got. We're going to be putting in a walk-in cooler and freezer out here, and then a roof over this area. And we call this the area well, and this is where we would move machinery in and out of. So the roof that will be over here will be removable, but it's going to give us much needed storage room. Okay, and then off by the Carters up there, that's where all of our geothermal equipment comes into there. And down here, I will show you our pit. This is where our fire suppression system lives, as well as a 35,000 gallon tank so that it can run our fire suppression for like 3 hours or something like that. And there it is. Yep. This was this is located underneath the deck off of the dining room. Yep. And there it is. Yeah, and that kind of concludes our tour of the Gnome Schoolhouse. So, thanks for joining us.